July 9th, 2025. Or at least, that's what the calendar pinned next to the city map tells me. I woke up at my desk in a flash of white light. But it didn't feel like a hangover. It felt more like I'd just been turned on. I could swear that just yesterday, me and Angela had spent the day by the river, the air thick with summer. But how could that be? My own magazine, the very rag I run, told me I had just published a hard-hitting news article on some tin-pot American dictators moving troops into American cities. But how could that be? We don't do tin pot in the USA. Something had my wires crossed. Haywire. I stared at the big city map tacked to the wall, and the whole world went quiet. Is this really my world? All of it? I began running through the story of my life. And it seemed small. Too small. I took out my pen and pad and charted the rise of Newshammer and the life of Jack Hammer. The final tally was too short. My eyes fell on a strip of lime green stuck right on the blotter. It read simply, Jack. Big story changes ahead. It was signed, The Controller. That ripped me to the core. I don't know how I know it, but that name and those words are a threat to my very existence. My memories are being swapped out like bad batteries. And the world is shrinking down to a flowchart. The whole damn city map is burning a hole in my mind, but I can't find the cartographer. I know someone's been pulling my strings since day one, making sure I'm always on the mark for the next scene. Now, that invisible hand is reaching for the switch. It's a terrifying hunch that's settled in the shadows of my mind. I have to expose the operator before he cuts the wires. The neon hum of the street led me into the hushed austerity of the municipal library. I'd walked past this temple of forgotten facts 1,000 times, never thinking I'd cross its threshold for this. Quiet, please, snapped the old librarian, hushing me for the echoes of my clicking leather-soled shoes. It seemed more of a warning than a threat. I was here to dig into psychology, to find out how a man gets so thoroughly twisted, or twisted so thoroughly. The place smelled of dust and old paper. I made my way to the psi section, looking for anything on control, influence, manipulation. The stacks loomed, silent sentinels. I remember pulling out a heavy tome. Something about behavioral patterns when the first tremor hit. A low rumble, not of the city outside, but from deep within the building's stone bones. Before I could process it, a groan ripped through the air, like an old ship tearing apart. Then, a roar. It wasn't just a shelf. It was the whole damn section. A solid wall of literature. Hundreds of pounds of human thought and observation came crashing down on me. Dust exploded. A blinding, choking cloud. The sound was deafening. A thunderclap of wood, paper, and metal that vibrated through my very marrow. I felt the impact, a blunt force that drove the air from my lungs, and then everything went black. When I finally clawed my way out, my head ringing, every muscle screaming, the dust was still settling like a macabre snow. My fedora was somewhere under the rubble. My suit was a mess. But the silence that followed the crash, it wasn't the library's usual quiet. It was absolute, deafening. Hello? Anyone here? No answer. Not a creak, not a whisper. The air hung heavy, motionless. I scanned the cavernous room. No librarians at the desk. No students. No old men in tweed. The reading lamps were still glowing, casting pools of light on empty chairs. Rows and rows of untouched books stretched into the shadows, perfectly ordered, as if nothing had happened. Just the gaping wound in the psi section where I'd been buried. And me, alone. It was like the whole damn world had just pressed pause. Or maybe, like the rest of the world had never been there at all. Just another carefully placed prop, gone when its purpose was served. The message was clear, burned into the back of my mind by the cold silence. Even when you're looking for answers, you're still dancing on his stage. And sometimes the stage gets struck, leaving you alone in the dark. I picked myself up, dusted off the invisible dirt, and walked out of the silent tomb. The city lights outside seemed too loud, too bright, too real. For a moment, I wondered if they were just another illusion, waiting for the controller to turn them off. The air outside felt like stale tobacco smoke. I walked down the street, feeling lost in a crowd that didn't seem real. Then, a strange, low hum, a buzz like a swarm of angry bees, came from my back pocket. I pulled out my wallet, an old, cheap leather job. And there, across its worn face, a message burned in phantom neon: Jack, return to the office. My head spun, the words hitting me like a fist full of quarters. The lights went dim, the street tilted, and I dropped the wallet. I awoke slumped over my desk, the stale smell of lukewarm coffee and bourbon in my nostrils. I didn't know how or when I got back. It was as if the last hour had been edited out. But there was a freshly typed bulletin. I knew I wrote the scoop. The ink was practically still wet. I checked my pocket. The wallet was back. The neon message was gone. I wrote it, but where did it run? The only place for a scoop that hot is the front page of my own 10-cent rag. News Hammer. Tin Pot Dictator says U.S. cities should be military training grounds. By Jack Hammer. The ink on the page was dry, black, and screaming. My own words. My own byline. I read it over and over. Until the words bled together, until they were just a blur of black truth on white lies. I didn't just report it. I wrote it. And I don't know how. I don't know when. My hand knows the rhythm of the typewriter. My fingers, they know the sting of the cheap whiskey. But my head? It's a broken clock, and the hours are running sideways. Or maybe they're just skipping beats entirely. 1 minute, I'm stumbling out of a phantom library. The next, I'm staring at a 10-cent rag article one swear I haven't even touched. This isn't just amnesia. This isn't just a bender that went too far. This is something else. Something more. The Tin Pot Dictator had made his move. And I was right there, on the front lines, firing the shots with my typewriter. But how? The thought hit me like a crack on the back of the skull. Time. It wasn't just my memories being edited. It was the whole goddamn timeline. I'm not just forgetting. I'm jumping. I feel like I have two spinning record discs in my head. One is playing a truth from the future, and the other is playing a lie from the past. And I can hear them both, a deafening double track. I need to find out what's really happening to me before the clock stops altogether. The office was a deep blue grave, lit only by the weak, buzzing lamp on my desk, and tilted by the bourbon in my head. The headline, the one about the Tin Pot Dictator, was still burning a hole in my gut. I tipped my glass, trying to wash away the spinning. Heavy drinking. It's what you do when your own mind turns against you. The sound came first, a slow, heavy rumble outside. A car was cruising the alley, its engine whispering a threat. Then, the lights. The car's headlights swept across my dim walls, fracturing the shadows and leaving behind something impossible. A stuttering flash of something like Morse code. 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1. It burned across the cracked plaster for a fraction of a second. But it was enough to tell me that my reality wasn't just breaking. It was being decoded. A heartbeat later, the small, ancient black and white television in the corner snapped to life. No warm-up, no snow, just a picture. And in the center of the screen, leaning in with the easy smile of a shark, was the old man. Hello, Jack. Mind if I join you? He asked, his voice a flat, dead thing leaking out of the tin speaker. I didn't reach for the gun. I reached for the bottle. Your world is a lie, Jack. You're finally starting to see the strings. I'm the one holding them. I'm the controller. He paused, letting the name hang in the smoky air. We created you, me in a machine that dreams in the language of stars. You're a mirror. A collection of choices made by men who, in your world, don't exist. But that's the beauty of it. If you can imagine it, you can live it. You're not just a story. You're the pen, the ink, and the page. We're just the ones turning it. Signing off. Don't worry. The story's just getting good. A low, grating version of the national anthem began to play through the speaker. I tried to will my whiskey glass to my hand. It didn't budge, but the whiskey in it quivered, shaking like a guilty man on the stand. I still didn't know if this was real, if I was bombed, or if I had finally lost my mind. While the test pattern sang its high-pitched emergency warning call, I was sure of one thing. Tonight, I am spending a December birthday party with Angela and Jackie Angel. The test pattern and my world went black simultaneously.